Today's sermon is about work ethic. We're going to be talking from Fundamentals of UNICULT. Work ethic is actually an official teaching of UNICULT, and we have a chapter on it on page 104. Page 104 if you have the book and you're working along. Also, if you have a uni planner, there's going to be a section for doing your Cam Church review stuff, and that will be here. Yeah, Hyperpop Dance Break is part of Cam Church. Okay, so let's just read a little bit, because I was a little bit worried, because I feel like our society right now is very anti-work, very anti-capitalist, and I think that's a really good thing. And then I was worried. I was thinking, well, what did I write in Fundamentals? Does it match up? And don't worry, Fundamentals is a perfect text. It covers all of our bases. So let's hear what we have to say from Fundamentals. Entrenched in our societal understanding... Oh, I gotta start Instagram. Sorry. Instagram likes my sermons too. Hang on. Give me a second. Perfect. Okay. Work ethic. Entrenched in our societal understanding of success is the concept of hard work. For some people, the idea and act of working hard by societal definition is satisfying, beneficial, and invigorating. For others, working in this way is soul-sucking and pain-inducing. So just take a moment to think about what it feels like when you feel into working hard. What does it mean to you to work hard? Does that feel like something that you were raised to feel is a really good thing, that you were, when you embody hard work, does that mean that you as a person have value? Or is it more like when you think of hard work, you're disenchanted with that idea and you see it as a brainwash, because as you work hard, you're, like Dolly Parton was saying earlier, that all that money and all that energy just goes and is being siphoned off by a few. In New Age ideology, we talk about, the evil aliens that came and are stealing our energy. And even if New Age ideology is totally made up and just totally fantastical, it's an amazing metaphor for what's really happening. So whether or not evil aliens are real, or we're enslaved in a matrix simulation of energy siphoning, we are trapped in an energy matrix of energy siphoning, because the entire system that we know, the entire understanding of power dynamics as we understand them, is a top-down power pyramid, where people at the top get to leech off the energy of the people below, and then they have a concentrated amount of energy at the top with less people. So the top-down power pyramid is important to understand, because when we see the top-down power pyramid, it's very likely that we're going to become disenchanted with hard work. There's also the idea of the Protestant work ethic and this religious idea that working hard is divine and is holy. And we can look at all of the Industrial Revolution and all of the brainwashing that has been fed to us through movies, TV shows, songs, media, and our government, and the rhetoric about our government that our government puts out about lazy people, and about hard work, and about success. One of my favorite quotes about Americans is, every American is a temporarily embarrassed millionaire. And because we feel the inherent energy of our abundance, because the American dream tells us that if we work hard and we pull ourselves up by our own bootstraps, that we will be successful. I really don't want to talk shit about Grimes. I love Grimes, but I recently found out that she has been wealthy her whole life, right? And this is true of many of my peers when it comes to being a pop star. This is true of many of my peers when it comes to being a cult leader. It's very easy. If you look at the Source family, this guy was a baller. He had so much money, he was able to just pour money into all of these things. Being a cult leader who has to work a literal job is not really a normal thing. People who have to work don't usually have the energy to start a cult or to be a pop star. And I don't, it's like hard for me to have access to even have the musical gear to even start making music in the way that I want to make it as a pop star. Whereas my peers who have enough money to not work, to practice their musical abilities and have enough money to buy all the gear, have a much different path and a much easier road. And I struggle with this idea. And I'm talking about myself because I think we can all get into this feeling of feeling like this idea of the American dream, this idea of opportunity, isn't really as equal as we like to imagine. We have this idea of glorifying each successful person as someone who has simply achieved more or who has done better than each of us. I can let my computer in, sorry. But it's not true. Always. Some people are able to create opportunities for themselves from states of poverty, and they are able to push forward into a new reality. But the potential for you to be ascending into a different tax bracket than the one that you were born in is very unlikely. It's important that we lay this fundamental groundwork of understanding opportunity and success as it relates to hard work, because our American dream says if you work hard, you will be successful. If you work hard, you will be rich. When I first graduated college, I'm blessed to have a college degree. I graduated during the recession, and my college degree meant nothing. So I started working at, I was working fast food, I was working in bookstores, I was working in libraries, and I was working really hard. I was working all the time. I was working 60 to 80 hours a week. I was going between jobs. I would pull over, I would speed down the highway, because I was working in different towns. I would speed down the highway, rip my car into the nearest fast food place, and order as fast as I could, and then cry because they took too long to get my order because I knew I was going to be 2 minutes late to my next job, but I had to eat. So I was working so hard, and I was like, I don't think working hard is the answer, because I am losing my mind. I'm unhealthy. I don't even have time to eat, and I'm not making any money at all. I can't save anything, I can't even get promoted to manager at my job. Like, what am I supposed to do here? Like, I can't even get the $1 an hour raise that includes being a manager, nor do I want it, because that's not even a fair amount of responsibility. So I reimagined myself, and what it meant to work hard and what it meant to be successful. So we have to look at all the moving parts here. We've got the American dream, which is the lie that your success or your failure is your fault and your fault alone, and that there is no systemic oppression, that there is no systemic inequality, that we're all an equal playing field, and that you are responsible for your success. Then we have the idea of working hard and how that relates to the capitalist American dream mindset. From there, we also have the idea of success and what it means to be successful. And we have to break apart all of these different things, because they're all sort of fever dreams. They're all built on really weird presuppositions. So the idea of success, the idea of the American dream, is what? To be like Elon Musk, to be smart, to be respected, to be wealthy, to have all this money, to have a nice car, to have a fit body, to have a hot girlfriend, whatever it is that you think success is. When you think of the people who are successful, how does that relate to your desire to be successful? What is it that you wish you had that rich or successful people actually have? For me, my envy comes from having the ability to reach a lot of people, having the ability to shift the public consciousness with little whimsical things. Different famous people will just say some stupid comment, and then a bunch of news articles are published about their stupid comment. I cultivate what I say, I cultivate what I teach, and I would love for the smallest comment of mine to get publicized for all to hear, because it is my passion to change consciousness, to change the vibration of people. That's probably not your goal with success, but that's mine. And so when we think of success, it's good to remember we don't all have the same vision of success. We don't all have the same desires, but we're a little bit bamboozled to think that we do. In our culture, American, etc., we have the idea of monoculture, the idea of the singular idea of success. This is feeding into the top-down power pyramid. This is saying, this is race hierarchies, this is socioeconomic hierarchies. What is privilege? Who has the most concentrated privilege? People who are, at this point in time, white, attractive, rich, well-spoken, educated, and confident. So, you know, we could go on and on, but there is a singular form, mold of what it means to be successful. A white male. You know, it's like there's a box here of what everyone's like striving to fit in. And if you happen to be a woman, you're like, oh well, maybe I can get close. You know, and that's what this top-down power pyramid is. And it's a hierarchy. It's a social hierarchy of privilege and of societal value, and it's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. It matters because we are all interacting and interplaying with it, but it's actually total bullshit because we each have equal amounts of power as one another. The idea that there is only one singular way to be successful, the idea that there's only one singular form of success, and that is what, like having a fancy watch on a boat with alcohol, with like big boob girls dancing around you. I don't know. Whatever it is when you think like, oh, the most successful people, like, you know, what is that sort of fever dream that we have that we all share? Like, oh, if I was on that boat, I would feel rich, I would feel successful, I would feel like I had made it, or whatever your idea of success is. I think we all share some crossover with the idea of women as a reward, with the idea of money as an indicator of success, of boats and different environments, giving these symbols. I'm trying to talk about the collected shared vision that we have for success and for, it's like maybe you would say, oh, I wouldn't really want that. But if you found yourself in that environment, you would be like, oh, this is kind of fancy. Even if all the people around you are corrupt and not good people and not actually happy and don't actually have true abundance. So here's where we start to dismantle these three things: the American dream, the idea of working hard, and the idea of success. As we dismantle these things, we find underneath of them the truth, which is that a lot of times people who work hard are actually exhausted and not rich. People who don't work at all are glorified and end up, like people who are born into money usually end up not working hard at all. They're like rich people on TikTok love to be like, I'm a millionaire and I have 7 streams of income. I don't work a day in my life, you know, like. The privilege that comes from building 7 streams of income comes from having 7 streams of investment in which to build those 7 streams of income. Any success that these people have, any financial success requires an investment. And it requires an investment of time, of dedication, of other people's labor, of other people's money, or of your own money. This is really important to understand because I am an alien, okay? I was like, I want to be rich and successful and like have all these things like everybody else, and I know I deserve it in my heart, and we all deserve it. True abundance is our right. So I said, okay, I'll work hard. Working hard didn't work out. I said, okay, well, I'll start a business. Well, nobody told me that in order for a business to be successful, you have to put in a significant financial investment before that can even start to happen. With UNICULT Supply Co., I've been building UNICULT Supply Co. since 2013. The way that I started was going to thrift stores and spending $20, $30 and selling things for $20, $30 and trying to just like get a couple dollars from each sale. I couldn't afford to buy things at a discount because I didn't have enough money. How can you possibly start a retail business if you can't even afford to buy things cheaper than you can sell them? How can you afford to buy things cheaper than you can sell them unless you can afford to buy them in mass quantities? Not even to mention, do you have enough room in your house that you can actually store mass quantities of things? You have to pay the rent on those things. It's important to understand the disillusionment that happens when you start on this path. And not only that, but the brainwashing involved with making us all believe like it is our fault if we don't have this idea of success. Making us feel as though it is our fault if we are not having the same types of privilege. As we dismantle these three things, the American dream, okay, this is all bullshit. Our entire economy is a siphoning of energy for those at the top. The entire system of a top-down power pyramid and unfettered capitalism leads to super rich people getting the energetic rewards of having many, many people working for them in the lower jobs that they're working, and sacrificing their labor and getting paid a wage and having the profits taken. Minimum wage and production are not hand in hand. Our ability to produce has obviously increased exponentially because of automation. It really just makes me so mad. Profits used to be tied to productivity. Profits used to be tied to, or profits are tied to productivity, but wages used to be tied to productivity. And the more you could produce, the more you could get paid because you're producing more, so you can get paid more. You're producing energy. Now, the production is up and up and up, and the labor is, still happening, and the profits are being taken by the upper class, by the 1%, by the CEOs, by the corporation, the shareholders, the board members, etc. The average person, the people who are actually creating the value, are not getting the financial reward, and so thus we see wealth inequality in our system. The idea that you can pull yourself up by your own bootstraps is only true if you were born into a very wealthy family with very nice boots and you're standing on a platform. You can have success, you can make it, but the effort involved and the potential for opportunities to present themselves or not are really important to acknowledge. Because you might have a really good idea, you might be really intelligent, you might be really confident, you might have all the right things, but you might never get the opportunity to be successful in the way that you think you should be successful in our society. The American dream is absolutely bullshit, mostly because opportunity is not equally given to each of us, and that privilege exists, and there are socioeconomic and racial inequalities that make it so that people have unequal opportunities to be successful. Then we have the idea of working hard. This idea of working hard and laziness, and I love to bring up this thing I heard on talk radio one day. They said, out of control entitlement programs. And the idea that people are bad or lazy if they feel entitled to having their basic needs met is so preposterous to me, because we have enough resources on this planet to clothe, feed, and house every person on this planet with no problem whatsoever. But our government has to perpetuate this idea that you have to be the one to create those things. And our government has this idea that you are less valuable of a person if you can't. But guess what? Disabled people exist. Chronically ill people exist. People who don't want to work exist. Visionaries who want to be cult leaders online exist. Not everyone is meant to or needs to work a job for our society to thrive. In fact, the opposite is true. So the idea of working hard really isn't about working hard. It's the idea of actually fitting into a box of success, and it's a lie to get you to feel guilty so that you conform your behavior to fit into the ideal of being a good worker for our government CEO elite overlords. I don't even like using the word elite for them. And that brings us to our third point. What does it mean to be successful? We call these people elite, we look up to them, celebrities included, and we see them as these beings of light, beings of success. They did it, they overcame the challenges, they had hard childhoods, and maybe they had millions of dollars, but they still had it hard, and they were able to overcome everything, and it's because they're smarter and they're better than the rest of us. They are just extra talented. They just have so much more talent and expertise than any of us. That's the lie that we allow to run in our society. I believe the role of the celebrity, the role of the ultra-wealthy, the role of the idol is a holy position. I believe that we should be having people in our society who we venerate, who we look up to, who we honor. I like to have celebrity worship. I do it all the time. I'm obsessed with so many celebrities. I enjoy studying their lives. I enjoy studying their work and their art, and I like to get to know them as people, and I think it's just so cool that I can share my passion about a person and their art or their success with other people who are like that. But the people we put into that position, the people that we raise up to be celebrities, the people who we spend our time obsessing over and thinking about and thinking that they're better than us, I don't think should be just regular people who were born rich. I think we need to start elevating true spiritual leaders, people who are truly glowing from within, people who are truly angels on earth, who are truly kind and generous and benevolent, and people who have spiritual wisdom to teach us. All celebrities are spiritual leaders. If you don't think Kim Kardashian is a spiritual leader, I've got some news for you. What do you think all the plastic surgery that happens that looks for people to look like Kim Kardashian? She is an embodiment, an idol, an icon for people to model their behavior after. This is influencers, or this includes all influencers, all celebrities. When they occupy the space of mass amounts of attention, they get energy from that, and we are able to pour our energy and pour our attention and model our lives after them. But where will it lead us if they are vapid? Where will it lead us if their idea of success is simply materialistic? Where will that lead us if everything that they're trying to influence us to do is to buy diet lollipops or buy our new underwear or lip gloss or whatever? We look at these people and we say, I want to be like them, and if I could only get close to being like them, then I will be successful too. And then they use that to sell us products. And then we say, well, if I buy these underwear and I get the plastic surgery, then I'll look like this person, and then maybe I'll have value as a person. Maybe I will have success. We have to dismantle this entire idea of success. We have to look into our own selves and say, we are each valuable, unique, important, successful beings inherently. It is our divine right to have abundance and to celebrate our unique success. The idea that materialism is the only answer for success is sad and wrong. In UNICULT, we talk about work ethic because I value work ethic. I love to work hard. Working hard, I go to work, it's like kind of an existential kink for me. Like, I'm a workaholic. Like, I go to work and then I do whatever I'm doing. I make art, or I'm working on UNICULT and I'm doing the store and I'm sending emails, and it's like, I'm always on the precipice of being overwhelmed with how much I do. People, ask me to hang out and I'm like, I am so overwhelmed, like I am always at that point because I overbook myself and I work hard. I like to work hard, but that doesn't mean that everyone does. And my idea of working hard is working toward a brighter and more hopeful future. Do we call, art work? Depends. If you're getting paid, you call it work. I saw a video of Lana Del Rey on live one time, and people said, sing for us. And she said, I don't want to work right now. And I thought, how sad that one of the people who have the most amazing voices feel like singing is work because she gets paid to do it. And I think that that's sad because she obviously loves to sing, but it's a job now. So what does it mean to be successful? What does it mean to work? If you're doing your art, if it feels like work, if you're getting paid to do it, if you feel like you have to do it, then it feels like work. This is up to you to make these definitions. What does it feel like to work hard? What does it feel like to be overwhelmed? What does it feel like to give more than you can give? What does it feel like to simply be in flow and to be having fun and to be doing what you love? Is the word work appropriate in all of these instances? This is up to you to decide. Labor and the idea of, I said I don't dream of labor. That's a phrase that's been going around lately. Of what is your dream job? It's like I don't dream of labor. And I do dream of labor. But my labor that I dream about is being a cult leader. And it is getting dressed up and having interviews and talking to people. And it takes effort, sure, but that's my dream. What is your dream of if you could be your truest self, if you could do what you truly want every day, what would that look like? In UNICULT, that is our goal. Our goal is to pay you every day to do what is the true work in your own heart. We sort of have like a little version of this in the devoted membership. People don't get paid. We don't have a bunch of money yet, but eventually we will. And everybody who is a devoted member gets to choose what they want to do. They get to choose if they want to participate in someone else's project or start their own project or create whatever they want to create. And ideally, if I did have a lot of money, if I was a trust fund baby, I would create jobs for people to do whatever it is that they truly want to do every day. Why? What is the importance of doing what you truly want to do every day? This is UNICULT ideology. This is a UNICULT principle. By aligning our hearts with our true selves, by aligning the truth of our hearts with our actions every day, we are allowing divinity to flow through us as clearly and as brightly as possible. Your unique incarnation, your unique truth, the work that you truly want to be doing every day is what you should be doing. This includes rest. This includes meditating. I would love to be able to pay 10 people $100,000 a year to sit in a room whenever they want and just meditate on UNICULT success. That would be a worthy investment because the energy that is cultivated in meditation is better than any other work. Maybe not better than, but just as important, just as equal as any other work. Spending time finding peace inside your heart and in your body, laying in the grass, laying under a tree, looking at the clouds, that is true power, that is true work. That is just as important as some stupid spreadsheet job that needs to be done to appease the bureaucratic overlords. We need people to come together and work hard to change the system. We need people to come together and work hard to build a Unitopian paradise. It's not easy to tear down all the suburban houses and rebuild eco-villages. That's going to take work. And we have to be the ones to do it because it's with our own hands, with our own labor, that we can infuse this reality with what we truly want. But when we have psychopaths, sociopaths, dictating everything that we have to do in a day as CEOs, and all we can do is type, or, ring people up or serve food or whatever it is that we are stuck doing, and it's against the truth of our heart, it's not what we really want to be doing, we are not creating the world that is going to be best for us all. Your true heart and your true desire, whether it be to work in the kitchen and cook food for people you love, or whether it be to make the spreadsheets and appease the bureaucratic overlords, or whether it be to meditate and dream and work as a creator, it's all valid. It's all valid. And in UNICULT, we honor that as hard work. We honor that as an important contribution to our efforts in building a brighter and more hopeful future. And here I'll just leave us with this last paragraph from the book. Every moment of life you live is successful. We were talking about what is successful. Every moment of life that you live is successful. Every moment of joy is a victory. If you are a person who enjoys busy calendars, lists, and stacks of papers, that is your calling. If you are a person who enjoys sketching pictures and doing handstands, that is your work. Always follow your heart and do what you enjoy. It will inevitably always lead you to the work that most needs to be done on this planet. Thank you for your work. So this week I want you to try to break free from these ideas of success. If you've got your uni planner or you want to do your uni work, your first step is to dismantle the idea of the American dream. In what ways are you still attributing your worth and your value as a person to these toxic ideas of the American dream? How can you dismantle that? How can you at least acknowledge that you feel responsible for your own success? And how can you acknowledge that you've maybe been hindered or prevented by lack of opportunity, by socioeconomic disadvantage, or by racial disadvantage, or by neurotypicality disadvantage, or whatever it is, okay, if you're disabled or any of those things. Secondly, how can you dismantle the idea of working hard and the idea of what it means to work hard? Does that mean to be stressed out? Does that mean to give more than you can give? Or how can you rewrite that working hard idea to be more aligned with simply radiating your truth and your joy and taking the time that you need for yourself? The third thing I want you to acknowledge and dismantle is ideas of success. In what ways do you believe that success is the idea of materialism? And in what ways have you integrated the truth of success, which is joy, which is simply existing, which is simply being alive? As you look at each of these things and hopefully work on dismantling them, you can start to dream up a future, a utopian future, where we each have our basic needs met, where we get rewarded for doing the things that align with our true hearts. This is our inevitable future, okay? This is a real thing we're talking about. I have been doing this since 2012, and the world right now looks exactly like I thought it should look 10 years ago. I am just ahead of the game. I hate to say it, but it's true. These are real things. We have no choice on this planet but to evolve spiritually. And honoring our life energy is a huge aspect of that evolution. We cannot continue to let psychopaths, sociopaths, and top-down power pyramids siphon off our life energy. And we are seeing that now. People understand what I'm saying now because it's the whole system is so corrupt and everybody knows it. After you dismantle these things, just meditate. What does the world look like in the future after we all have these awakenings and this awareness, and we can all work together to stand up to these corporations and we can rewrite our entire society? There's a lot of work to be done. But what role do you see yourself playing in that work? What role do you see yourself playing in that work? If you want to make art today, this week, I recommend drawing out your ideal vision of Unitopia. Draw yourself working hard underneath a palm tree if you want, or on the beach, or on that yacht if that's what you want. You are allowed to envision any success that you want. There is no wrong version of success. I only want to call attention to the materialist version of it because it is not the only type of success that exists. And in fact, it often is at the detriment of people's well-being and their actual energetic success. So what is the thing that will bring you the most energetic joy and energetic happiness? Don't forget to donate to UNICULT when you get your material abundance. Send it our way. We're going to get a commune called Uni Acres, and you will all be invited, but we need to raise money for it. Spirit of Uni, we call you here today to allow each person to break the chains of their corporate overlords, to stop working if they don't want to work, if they have other things they'd rather do with their time, to honor our time, to honor our life energy, and to celebrate our energy and celebrate the future where each of us has an authentic contribution that is not simply fitting into a box of what it means to be successful as dictated by our media and our society. Uni bless! Thank you all for joining me. It is my honor and my pleasure. If you are an official UNICULT member, you can go on over to the Discord server, and there will be a Uni brunch where you can talk to other UNICULT members and have a great day. We will be having an address to the cult, I believe, next 2 weeks from now. We'll figure it out. And I hope you all have a beautiful, blessed day. Uni bless. Uni bless. Uni bless.